I always knew I wanted kids really young. And when we came out, I was alone because I didn't have my family here. We came for school, so I wanted to have babies. I wanted to recreate a family. And I started to have babies in my 20s when my friends were building these insane, amazing careers. And people were like, why are you having babies now? Shouldn't you be building a career? And I was like, well, and I was doing what I was doing. I paid quite a heavy price for that because it meant that I was working really hard while having small kids. It meant that I didn't have the money to do a lot of things I wanted to do. It meant that I couldn't afford a house. I couldn't, and then I ended up on my own with the kids. And these choices I made to have the babies early were difficult they had consequences. So now when I look at my kid, but then what happened is that when I looked at my friends who were having babies older and the women that I've worked with, the 21,000 women that I've worked with, I cannot tell you the number of women that have struggled because they struggled with IVF, they struggled with having babies because by the time they felt that they could afford babies, they were biologically struggling to have those babies, which is just heartbreaking when you see about it. It's also happened in our team. Now, when I look at my daughters, I say to them, listen, by the time y'all hit 26, we're going to have your eggs frozen and we're putting them there so that you can always make these choices to go and have your babies. And my kids are like, oh my God, you're mad. And I'm like, I'm not kidding. Because what we're doing is when we go to work, we are making women choose between work and kids because it's so friggin' impossible to have children and work. So women leave work, but you don't leave work because you don't need the money. You leave work because you can't cope, because you feel like your kids are paying the price for you to go to work. But this is why I started W Corporation, because what kind of thought process is that? That thought process of work or babies has led to some of the lowest birth rates in the world. We are shrinking as a population. And there are many countries that are never going to recover from this, like Japan, like South Korea, like honestly, I think even Italy and a lot of other countries, China. What is happening here is that we are making it impossible for women to have babies and to work. What if you could have your babies young and your babies could grow through your career with you? Wouldn't that be amazing? Because then we could do the things that we wanted to do as women, but we could also be able to work to pay for those things so that we didn't have to choose between a kind of a lifestyle and a family. Because that is the choice that I see coming forward for my children and for your children. And this has got to be the wrong way for us to go forward as a society. It has to. And that's what we want to change with W Corporation. I think that's what we have to shift.